And then you can close the door behind you.
Okay.
All right. So I told you on the phone yesterday, that gentleman came up and made a report for assault on you. So because of the allegation, this doesn't mean that you're going to be under arrest, but I'm going to read you your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. I'll turn this around this way.
Yes,
You can
sir.
read along. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. And you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. And you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next statement is a waiver of your rights. And having been advised of my rights and fully understanding my rights, I do wish to answer questions at this time, and I do not wish to have an attorney present. My decision to answer questions now without an attorney is made freely and is my own choice. No one has threatened me in any way or promised me anything. And if that's a true statement,
Yes, sir.
you'll sign right there.
Okay.
I also need you to sign right there saying you understand your rights and initial on each one of these rights next to I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I'll sign Dave also.
Want me to fill this in?
Yeah, if you would. My phone's on silent here.
Am I allowed to read his incident report to see what he alleges?
I can tell you what's in it.
Okay.
I'll do that. Get my eyeballs on. Basically, he just says that on the 26th is when he came in. He's saying that on the 24th of February, he was at the old Sumter County Courthouse making a video in the lobby when he was approached by Joe Perry. He said that Perry started yelling at him and walking towards him. He said that he advised you not to come towards him, and he held up his hands. He said that you hit him on the right hand and continued towards him and yelling. And said he tried to leave the building and stepped in front of him, attempting to keep him in the building. And that's the gist of what he said. And then he's got the video footage of the incident on the YouTube under pepperoni audits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the basically what he wrote in his report.
Okay.
So let me sign this. All right. So, in your own words, I'll just let you start and just tell me
Okay.
what happened.
Well, first of all, the video is heavily edited.
Okay.
You have to question someone's credibility. I spent 20 years as a journalist, and the many things that he did and said would never pass muster in the world of professional media. His video is heavily edited. There's actual sections of audio that are missing completely.
I noticed that. Yeah.
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 So, you know, if I would have tried to do something like that, you'd be fired immediately. Also say, so I got a phone call a little bit before 2 o'clock or thereabouts from our facilities manager. And he said there's two guys in the
Who's
court.
the facilities manager?
Dennis Powell.
Okay.
He said there's two guys in the courthouse filming stuff. And I said, what are they filming? Usually when you have, when I deal with media, it's pretty obvious. They drive up in a WIS car, a WLTX, and I know plenty of these people. So I said, who is it? What are they doing? And he said, I don't know, but I have to go to a meeting. I said, okay, I'll go over there and watch it. My main concern was there's renovations going on in the main courtroom on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
I didn't want any members of the media going up there because that would raise a liability issue. There's construction going on. So I went over there and I encountered these two individuals on the second floor, introduced myself, and by the way, the whole time my ID badge, which I'm wearing now, is connected to my belt.
Okay.
It's visible, as you can even see on the video.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several times he was like, "Who are you?" Well, I told him right away. I said, "I'm Joe Perry. I'm the communications coordinator for Sumter County government. What are you guys doing? You know, what's going on?" And I said, "Could you please stop filming while we talk?" Well, they immediately became very aggressive, hostile, loud. I took one look at these individuals, and I can tell you, sir, I knew right away they were not. They said, "We're the media." And I said, "Okay, what organization?" They refused to give their names. They refused to say what organization they were with. I'm extremely mindful of what happened on January 6th, our nation's capital.
Mm-hmm.
People tried to overthrow the government, stop the election tally and all that, as you're well aware, and it was a violent insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
These two individuals looked exactly like people who invaded the Capitol.
Okay. So, was that your mindset? These two guys were a part of, or maybe thinking the same thing, some kind of insurrection, or?
I was absolutely concerned. I knew right away they weren't professional members of the media. This guy's got a bulletproof vest on.
Okay.
He's dressed all in black. He has patches all over.
I heard you ask him why he had the bulletproof vest on. So he was wearing, what was he dressed in?
He had on black jeans, I guess a black shirt or sweater under it. The main thing I saw was a bulletproof vest with patches on it. And you'll forgive my language, but one of them said, "No fucks given."
Mm-hmm.
My eyes, I saw that and I went, uh-oh. And they were anti-establishment type of, he's letting the world know that he's anti-establishment, anti-government, whatever. I would later come to realize that was founded. They're anti-law enforcement, anti-government types. That's what it seemed to me.
Did they have any other patches or insignia or anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I just saw several patches that were vulgar. I knew professional members of the media would never dress or act like that. It became confrontational, and I said, I just, trying to figure, and of course the video does not show our initial encounter, because I just walked up and said, "Hey, I'm Joe Perry." And there's several times also, by the way, in the video where they take a clip where I say, "You guys are on public property." Well, they edited out the other part where I said, "You guys are on public property and you're wearing a bulletproof vest."
Mm-hmm.
That, made the back of my neck, the hair stand up.
Right.
Law enforcement officers wear bulletproof vests, of
Mm-hmm.
course, because that's their line of work. I don't know why a civilian is walking around the courthouse filming the place. I thought, perhaps they're expecting violence. I don't know why he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
Maybe he's casing the place. I was immediately concerned, what's going on with these individuals, so I called law enforcement.
Okay.
And I would also say, this allegation of assault, there were several times, if there was inadvertent contact, it was totally an accident.
Okay.
And if I assaulted him, he walked into me. You can also watch another, 25, 30 minutes of video.
Mm-hmm.
There's no physical duress. He's not injured in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
He accused me of being on drugs. He accused me of assaulting him, so I knew right away that they're not honest people. They're not members of the media. I was very concerned. There's the register of deeds on the second floor. There's a gentleman who does stuff for the solicitor's office. There's voter registration.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them out of the building.
Okay.
And I wanted law enforcement to talk to them. And I would have had zero problem explaining that to law enforcement had they shown up at the courthouse.
Okay. So whenever this, contact, if any contact was made, and according to video, it looks like there is some contact is made. It looks like you maybe put your hands up, or at any time you try to swipe, swing at them, knock a phone out of their hand, or anything like that to stop them, push them, or anything like that.
I did not make any effort to assault them in any way, shape, or form. If I was gesticulating with my hands, that's one thing. I know I did. At one point, I put my hand in front of the camera and said, "Could you please stop filming while we talk," or something to that. Well, he immediately started yelling and screaming at me. It was unintelligible. That's another thing that I don't know what he's saying. He's saying, "I have permission from Danny." I don't know anyone named Danny.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, what they're talking about.
They were trying to say, I guess they were saying it was Dennis?
I guess.
Okay.
But the fact
Did
that
they actually talk to Dennis?
I suppose.
Okay.
I can't speak to that. You'd have to talk to Dennis about that.
Okay. Do you
this
know what
one-
his phone number is?
I can give it to you. I can also tell you I've gotten numerous threatening voicemails and at least one threatening email.
Okay.
So those are the type of people they are, and they're expletive filled. "You son of a bitch, we're gonna get you, you piece of shit."
Were those emails and phone calls from this guy?
I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know. There's several people that have left, and I'm happy to. We now have a system where our voicemails get translated into emails, so I can,
Okay.
and it just came on. These emails, these people are calling my office at 11 o'clock at night and cussing me out.
Yeah, if you can send those over to me.
Certainly.
Sheriff played a couple of the voicemails for me briefly, and he's supposed to be getting those over to me. So as soon as I get those, I'll listen to those as well.
This is one I got last night after I left work.
Listen, Zero Party, next time somebody comes in with a camera, you're going to let them in there. That place is a public place, all right? And any public place, there's no expectation of privacy. So fucking smarten up and stop harassing people like that. Because you will be charged and you will be sued. You stupid fuck.
Are y'all able to get the phone numbers that they call from?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how that would work. If you would have to,
Okay.
I don't know if that would be a talk to FTC or something.
Okay.
There was one day where my phone just kept ringing off the hook.
Mhm.
And one time I picked it up and he's yelling unintelligible stuff. This is pretty mild in terms of some of the voicemails I've gotten.
Mhm.
Right after this incident happened, there's this one guy that's cussing me out and he's saying things like, "We're coming for you, Joe Perry," or "We're gonna get you," or something. It was definitely threatening, menacing in nature. You know, if WIS or WLTX or the item, anyone, I've been in this job 4 years. I've dealt with a lot of members of the media. Have never had anyone act like that. It's way, way out of line.
Right.
You know, and in hindsight, would I have done things differently? Sure. In the heat of the moment, I was greatly concerned that these were anti-government, anarchists, whatever the case may be, and they're walking around. This guy's, by the way, also, he's got a backpack on. I don't know what's in the backpack. He's got a backpack, he's got a bulletproof vest. They're yelling at me, they don't want to say what their names are.
What was he filming with? His cell phone, or did he have an actual camera?
He had a camera on his shoulder.
Okay.
He also said he had a body camera on. I don't think any of that footage was used in the video. I could be wrong. And there was another guy there. He's overweight. He's got on black jeans and like an olive shirt and
Yeah,
a knit
you see
cap.
him in the video.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
The other guy was the one mostly doing the talking.
Okay.
This other guy, the fellow who's overweight, you know, I don't recall him saying much.
Okay.
Maybe I missed it. It was the other guy who's the chief instigator.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you can think of? I mean, because you followed him for quite a distance.
Yeah, I wanted law enforcement to talk to him. I was
Okay.
absolutely concerned that, what do they want? Why are they in the courthouse walking around filming?
Right.
Why would you be filming the hallway outside the Register of Deeds? I mean, it makes no sense.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you know, should I not have followed him? I mean, we can parse that all day long. I think certainly, yeah, for safety's sake, I probably should have stayed at the courthouse. I wanted law enforcement to follow him, and I didn't see law enforcement responding. And I say law enforcement, to differentiate, this would be Sumter Police Department. I called law enforcement, I think, a total of 5 times. Well, I called 911. Is what when I say law enforcement, I called 911.
Right.
I called, I think, at the back of the courthouse because they're leaving. They're fleeing the scene to me. And I want to make sure that law enforcement talks to them.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing. I think I called law enforcement again at the library, and then they kind of cut behind old EMS station over there. Then they went, you know, towards the DHEC building. Then they went towards the fast food restaurants.
Right. Ended up over in the gate station.
Exactly. That was where finally Sumter police officers were there, as well as Chief Rourke. Chief Rourke told me that they go around and they go to different public buildings and they try to instigate people. That's basically what they do.
Right. Okay.
You know, I had never seen these guys before in my life. Had no idea who they are, what they wanted.
And they did they identify themselves to you?
Never.
Okay.
Never identified themselves
Never
to
had
me.
a badge or name tag or anything?
Nothing. And that's another thing is when you're a member of the media, you have one of these with your name and your organization and your picture. And we would typically, because, you know, for edification, I spent roughly 20 years as a newspaper reporter. And that's one of the things you do right off the bat when you're out in the general public is you say, hey, I'm Joe Perry, Florence Morning News. You have to do that.
Right.
And you have to have some sort of identification. And, you know, we have these obviously to identify ourselves, but there's also, because of the security measures that y'all have as well, that card is in there, but I always have this on me. And you'll see in the video, I had it on, and I told my name several times, wanted to know what they were doing. It was a very unpleasant situation.
I know you said that you were trying to keep them from fleeing the scene. Was there at one point where you were actually holding them or trying to keep them in place physically or barriers or anything? There's one point where you're kind of standing in front of him and he's trying to get around you. I mean, you said you were trying not to let them flee, but were there any intentions of, like, you know, physically stopping them from leaving?
You know, I wouldn't. I wanted the law enforcement to talk to them, but would I grab them or no.
Did you? I mean, you didn't grab them or?
No, sir.
Put hands on them or anything in that fashion? Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, I think there was at least 2 times where he pretty much walked into me.
Okay.
Are you going to see that on his video? Of course not.
All right. Okay.
And this allegation of assault, I mean, the guy's wearing a bulletproof vest. I'm dressed, you know, I think I was wearing a fleece jacket and pants. This guy's wearing a bulletproof vest, but he claims I assaulted him. It's ludicrous.
Right. Okay. All right. Would you write all that down on paper for me, doing a written statement?
Can I type it up and email it to you? I write faster typing. Is it required to be
Sure,
written?
you can. Yeah, you can type it, but I'll need your signature on the bottom of
Certainly.
it. If you just want to type it up at your office or whatever and bring it back to me and then sign it in front of me.
That's all right?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, we'll do that then.
I mean, I'm a writer. That's what I do. I can type fast.
Right.
And I want to make sure I don't leave anything out.
Okay.
You know, in my mind, quite simply, these were dangerous people in a government building with unknown motives.
All right.
And my first encounter was they're yelling at me and they're screaming at me.
Okay. Did they put their hands on you at any point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not certain.
Okay. Were they making any threats to you? Like I said, I know what we saw on the video, but I'm sure there's other parts of the video that were edited out. Did they make any threats to you?
I mean, I would say the tone of their voice was threatening.
Okay.
But did he make any outright threat?
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else that you can think of? Something I may not have asked you, or?
You know, something he said that was just, I thought, really odd and out of place. And I think we're in front of the library. And I again asked him, why are you wearing a bulletproof vest on public property? And he said, this isn't Nazi Germany. What? And he said, this is a free country. I can wear whatever you want. What the hell is he talking about? Yeah, I know in America you can wear whatever you want. When I see someone with a bulletproof vest in a government building come in a little more than a month after a group of people who look exactly like he did invaded our nation's capital, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Sure. Okay. All right. Something popped into my mind and then it just went. Okay. If I think of it later, I'll give you a call.
Oh, the other thing was, I can tell you that, so on Sunday, a week, not this Sunday, a week ago, I fell skateboarding in my backyard.
Okay.
Injured myself, had the black eye,
Yeah, you had a bandage over your eye.
Yes, sir. The sunglass lens popped out and hit into my eye, swelled it up, but it cut it. He kept taunting me and suggesting that was the result of violence, which I also knew a professional member of the media wouldn't do that.
Right.
Like, he's trying to make fun of that. I fell down skateboarding and, had a black eye, and he kept suggesting that it's the result of a fight or something. And I'm thinking, good God, I'm 48 years old. I'm a dad. Like, who?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, a fight? I mean, my God,
Right.
It was absurd. And again, I knew they weren't professional members of the media. Some of these voicemails and some of these, the one email I got, this guy, I don't know who it was from, it says Jason McConnell, it's a Gmail address, something about I'm going to give you another black eye, or...
I think that's what it was. Whenever you get back to your office, forward me those emails and the voicemails when you can get those. And
certainly, and some of the older ones, if I can't do the thing with the email, I can put on an audio file. I can just record it with my digital tape recorder, and I can email that to you.
Okay. I'll reach out to I guess maybe IT and see if they can get those, or it might be Farmers, whoever does our
This is all my contact info.
I'll give you my card as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And yeah, try to get that typed up today, and just give me a call. I can come up to your office, and we can both sign it at that time, and I can pick it up from you. Or if you want to bring it back over here.
I can come back here because I want to go over to animal control and get some pictures of that building, progress of the building.
Right. Yeah. The new one out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Penny project. I can't really think of anything else other than to say, this guy wants to make this to be a First Amendment issue. Then why are all of his supporters threatening me with violence and leaving these nasty emails? If it was a First Amendment issue, let's say this guy was a journalist and a member of the media. You never threaten violence with people or make it personal or taunt people. You stick to the facts.
Right.
So it's been pretty unpleasant.
Do you know where all they went in the building before you encountered them?
I don't know.
Okay. Were they in any restricted areas?
I don't know.
Okay. They weren't when you first encountered them, they were just in the hallway?
They were just in the hallway.
Okay.
And again, my main concern was there's construction going on the 3rd floor. I didn't want them to go up there because that is definitely off limits to the public.
Right. Okay.
There's yellow tape across the steps. Of course, you can go under it, cut it, whatever, but most people have... Why do you want to go up? There's no reason to go up there.
Yeah, and that's just for safety reasons, right?
Exactly.
There's no restricted areas up there other than for safety reasons.
I don't think there's any other restricted areas in the courthouse, right? That's the only area that, to my knowledge, where there's construction going on is the main court.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, that's all I've got. So I'll walk you out.
Yes, sir.
So as soon as